Okay, so if you'll come up and give Alyssa a card, and we'll start. We can start at this side. And we'll work
I
our way
want to
from there.
request, I forget my hearing aid up there. So to just speak up a little bit, I can catch a lot of, I forgot my hearing aid. So
Okay, I understand, and I wear one too.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, let you.
I just want to be brief. I just want to thank Faust too for the interviews and all the work that you're doing. It's incredibly succinct and very clear. And just to add to it, we're entering, so we have in a very interesting time now. The city is it's golden era, and we hope that we're going to look at some solutions that we have to move on, solutions that can help this program along.
Okay, so we'll start. Thank you. Anyone? Commissioner Shelby? Okay.
Oh, we have a new timekeeping mechanism that we're trying out.
Okay.
Okay, so just for the public, it's gonna be green for the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then it turns, then it beeps, and then it gives you 30 seconds of red. So just so everyone's aware. Richard Rooney.
Yeah.
You're up.
How long do I have for a heart attack?
3 minutes.
Okay.
Please introduce yourself. Just
Richard Rooney, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Glad to meet you all. And this is very interesting, and thank you for the presentation. It was really well done. It reminds me of teaching school. There is a problem though, and if I remember correctly, the city attorney, Dennis Herreras, said the Street Arts Committee cannot exclude on the basis of aesthetic or lack thereof. So that how do you enforce, if the city attorney says that you can't go out and enforce what goes on in the street, so therefore if a vendor, for instance, comes into the arts and makes something in front of them, and then makes something in front of them, and then has it imported from China for nickels on a dollar, and then goes out into the street, and then the commissioners go out, what can the commissioners do? They can't do anything. They can, the cops aren't going to do anything. You have no enforcement. So while the idea is good, there's no follow through. So without follow through, you can't really change something. And I think that is really the essence. I mean, it's a really good presentation, but the essence is you have to have some kind of enforcement. It's like, if you don't have police on the street, they all speed, right? But the policeman make us not speed. So I thought that was really interesting. The other thing was that, I wrote down my note, I wasn't prepared to be the first person here, but that's okay. The other thing I might mention is that the vendors who are losing or not going on the street are because, or I should say the handcrafts people are losing because the vendors are being driven out by price. I also might add that laissez-faire capitalism doesn't always work. And if you increase the numbers of vendors, what happens to the price? The price always goes down. And those people making 10,000 suddenly start making 5,000. Just look at what Target and Walmart has done to the local stores. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Susan Tibbet.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Susan Tibbet. I have the distinct honor and really privilege, it's my favorite day of the month, to be one of the screening committee. My sister and I started as street artists in Union Square in the 70s, before the program was licensed. So fast forward to right now. Thank you very, very much for thank you for the presentation. It was excellent. Artists come before us who are making various art forms, jewelry, whatever. They may be from a particular country. They're making things that may look just like things that we see in a tool store that are coming from those same countries. Are those artists vendors, or are they artists? They're making the work. It may look identical. As a matter of fact, it does look identical to work coming from particular countries. How do we differentiate? I also want to second the previous speaker. A number of years ago, Dennis Herrera did rule, and he ruled specifically about aesthetics, quality of the work, which you spoke about. And quality is a really mutable kind of, what's quality? And what he said was, and I'm going to paraphrase, is that no screening body could exclude or include on the basis of aesthetics or lack thereof. So it's a sticky wicket. So when we use, ideas and phrases like quality of work, what exactly do we mean by that? And finally, I would just like to make a kudu to the historical memory that we have in this program. I think one of the great strengths of the program is the artists who have been with us for decades, and for leadership who has been with us for so many years. There is no substitute for historical memory, and we see what's happening in San Francisco now, and I think we want to treasure that even more. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Tad Sky. I've been in the program since 1974, so this is my 42nd year. I have benefited greatly in this program. As a jeweler, I've been able to make a living. I was not able to make a living as a fine artist, a painter. So this program has given me the opportunity to follow my passion of painting and at the same time make a good living. I think the program right now, the major problem is the ordinance kind of hamstrings us in what we could do, what Susan was just mentioning. If somebody can prove they make it, that's it. It could be of no quality or lousy quality, or they can buy it. And we've seen this over the years. In my first years in the 70s, people were cheating. They're still cheating. Unfortunately, this program is so easy to scam. Most of the artists don't. They make what they're selling. They're all here. Most of them make what they're selling, and they're happy to be a part of the program. But the ones who do scam, who are the vendors, make it hard for the other people to make a living, and frankly, discourage people. Many people that I asked to come to the meeting today said, I'm not going to bother, it's a waste of my time. But it isn't a waste of time. The strategic plan I thought was great. I read through it. I did find that although you were invited, and all the staff was invited, and 83 different groups were invited, artists and organizations, there wasn't one street artist asked for this strategic plan, which is 2014 to 2019. So here we are a year later, and we're just being put in the loop, which is great. Kate's presentation was terrific. I actually had an interview with her, and it was great. I mean, she did a very comprehensive job. There are a lot of things we could fix, and we should fix it. I do notice that this commission here sometimes really isn't on board with us. For instance, last year, out of 6 meetings, 3 of the meetings were canceled. And the 3 that were held, some of the commissioners didn't show up. So sometimes I'll read something and there'll be a good idea, like somebody said, let's give a prize for the quality of artists out there. But that was back in September, and here it is May, and I haven't heard. So there's not a lot of follow-up. We really need to come together to make the program good. We all want the program better. Everybody in this room wants it better. It's just, how can we do that? So there's some good ideas how we can get together. I definitely think changing that ordinance. One of the problems we've had, we'll come to Howard with a great idea, and the next thing we know, the city attorney says you can't do it. So that immediately we get discouraged. So people don't want to do things if the city attorney says no. If you want quality, you have to jury just the way all the craft shows that we've done and the art shows. The Art Commission always juries for their shows. So you've got to do that. That will eliminate some people. That's the way it goes. You want quality, that's how to get it up. Sorry, I only have a couple of seconds here, but I want to thank you all. We all really want the same thing, a better program. I'm semi-retired. The next generation should have a good program to be part of. Thank you.
Hi, Rory.
Hello, you all, and thank you for the marvelous presentation. Everyone here has a high interest in making things better. obviously there's been a great deal of energy and input to try to make things better. I've been a street artist since before there was any street artist program. So I speak from some experience. I think some of the problems were outlined pretty effectively. Quality and enforcement. Venues are very important. I would highly suggest that we pursue venues other than I saw outlined in these notes, possibly something to do with the Moscone Center or other areas that could be better or further developed for the street artists to sell in. I do recognize there is a problem with vendors, or whatever you want to call it, people that sort of buy and sell goods or modify things minimally in order to meet the street artist criteria. I think the new regulations are a good step forward. And I think there needs to be more enforcement. I know that Howard and Alyssa are limited in their time and availability to do things, and I highly commend them for doing such an excellent job with the time and resources that they have. They're very dedicated. They're good people. We're fortunate to have them. We're fortunate to have all of you and all the people here. We should all make an effort to try to improve things any way that we can. If there are other suggestions that other people have, I hope they'll bring them up today or any time in the future. But it's tough right now for anyone that's really dedicated to the program who's trying to make a living out of it. You know, there's a lot of push for an average minimum wage of $15 across the country and everything. I know a lot of artists that aren't making that $15, particularly for the number of hours that they're putting in. I'd like to see things better. I'd like to see any way that we can raise the level of quality and the level of income by creating more opportunities.
Activity completed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, was this card for this item? Was your card for this item or for general?
General.
Okay. Mara?
My name's Maura Murray, and I've been in the program since 2009.
Could you come forward?
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. I just wanted to share an observation that I had on Saturday, which was very powerful and kind of backs up some things we've been working on. I had a customer in my booth for a while, and he was very well dressed and very excited to see my product, and saved him from going to the Disney store. He said it was so unique and wonderful. So that was really nice to hear. But I asked him, I said, so where are you coming from work? And he goes, oh, I work in the Hyatt. And I said, oh, what do you do in the Hyatt? He says, I'm the concierge. I said, oh, can I ask you a question? How do you feel about a street artist being in your vicinity? And we have a lot of space all around your area. And, you know, is it a good thing, or are you guys upset with it? He goes, absolutely not. He goes, when our guests come to us, they come right down and say, what is the first thing we should do in San Francisco? He said, walk out the front door, start by the cable car, walk through the plaza, you will see handcrafted artists, actual artists that make the product selling you their product. And you'll have a wonderful experience, and then go to the ferry building. They come back to them. He said 90% of the people actually come back to them and thank them for saying this and giving them this opportunity to go home to all over the world and spread the word about the fun things that they got at the plaza. But we've heard this before, and over the years, so many of our customers from around the world, and I've had it many times, my friends came to San Francisco, they bought something very unique from here, and we just couldn't wait. It was on our to-do list to come and do this. But when our quality goes down, I still hear people say, oh, just walk through, it's a flea market, and they're not even looking.